This video is going to show you how to grow oyster mushrooms on coffee grounds and cardboard in a small container.
In your kit, you will find a plastic container with spawn, coffee grounds, cardboard, and alcohol wipes. If you do not have one of our kits, these are the materials you will need to follow along. The only other materials you will need are a bowl, pot, tongs, and a clean surface.
Get a pot and fill it 60% of the way with water. Bring the water to a boil. This step is important because there are billions of other fungi and bacteria floating in the air, and they can compete with the mushroom you are trying to grow. We are going to use boiling water to pasteurize our substrate, which will kill off most competitive organisms.
Take out your bag of coffee grounds and pour them into a bowl or container that will give them enough room to expand once you pour water over them. Prepare a clean area on the counter, sink, table, or floor to lay the wet cardboard out to cool. If you are worried about the surface you will be cooling the cardboard on, you can place a clean towel or something else down to rest the cardboard on top. Use 2 of your 6 alcohol wipes to wipe down the surface of your work area and where you will be laying your pasteurized cardboard to cool. This will help to keep the cardboard free of any new contaminants after you've pasteurized it.
Once the water is boiling, carefully dip your pieces of cardboard into the hot water using the tongs or utensils. Then, lay the wet pieces of cardboard out on your prepared surface to cool. Pour the remaining hot water onto the coffee grounds in the bowl you prepared earlier. Leave the coffee grounds to steep in the hot water for a few minutes. Make sure the coffee grounds are submerged completely underwater.
Use another 2 of the alcohol wipes in your kit to wipe down the inside surface of your container and hands. Wiping things with alcohol minimizes contamination. Just like we are pasteurizing the materials to minimize opportunities for contamination, we want to do the same with the container we were growing our mushrooms in.
Place a clean paper towel in the bottom of your colander. Pour the container or bowl of soaked coffee grounds into the colander. Today we are working outdoors, but you can do this in your sink. Let it rest a few minutes to allow the water to drain out fully and for the temperature to cool enough so that it is not too hot to touch. While the coffee is straining, pull the wet cardboard pieces into shreds and put them in your bowl. Now it's time to test the moisture content of your coffee grounds by squeezing with a clean hand. You should see no more than 3 drops drip out when you squeeze firmly. If there is more than that, let your coffee strain for a little longer until it passes the moisture test. Pour the strained coffee grounds into the bowl with your shredded cardboard.
Before opening the bag of spawn, break up big clumps so that most of the spawn is soft and pliable. This sawdust spawn contains mycelium of the blue oyster mushrooms we are going to grow. Mycelium is the main structure of fungi. It grows in long, stringy, branchy filaments similar to plant roots. Once we mix this up with the rest of our substrate, the mycelium will spread throughout it and develop big, beautiful mushrooms to eat. Mushrooms are the fruit of fungi. Just like an apple tree grows apples in order to pass on its seeds, mycelium grows mushrooms to pass on its spores. The spores form in or on the mushroom and then are dispersed by wind, rain, or another organism.
Pour the entire bag of spawn into the bowl. Use one of the alcohol wipes to wipe your hands and wrists one last time. Make sure to pull your sleeves up to avoid any risk of competitive organisms falling into the bowl. Using your hands, mix up all the contents in the bowl until they are evenly mixed. Making sure to mix all the ingredients thoroughly will allow the little pieces of mycelium, which we broke up before, to grow back together inside the container. This ensures that the mycelium can grow rapidly and utilize all the nutrients in the substrate. Transfer the mixture into the container and gently push down to compress the material. Close the lid firmly.
Make sure to label your container with the date, type of mushroom, and any other information you want to record. Keep your container somewhere in your house with temperatures between 55 to 70 degrees. In a warm environment, the process will be faster. In cold, it will be slower. Make sure to keep away from heating vents. If you hold your lid up to the light, you can see there are little holes for airflow. Try to avoid writing over these holes.
In around 4 to 6 days, you will likely see little white strands starting to form in and around the cardboard and coffee grounds. Once the white strands have fully spread throughout the whole container, crack the lid just a bit to increase airflow. Once you've done this, keep a close eye out for pins that will emerge on the top surface of the substrate. Pins are baby mushrooms forming. Once you see the pins forming, it's important to start watering. Use a spray bottle to mist the pins twice a day.
Mushrooms grow fast. You will see them go from the pinning stage to full maturity in just a couple of days. You will know the mushroom is at good stage to harvest when it looks mature and the curved edge feels similar to the curve at the top of your ear. You can harvest at any stage, but the mushrooms tend to keep the longest if you harvest at the stage described. For more information on what to do with the contents of your container once the mushrooms have stopped fruiting, consult our PDF for further ideas. You can learn more by visiting mushroomshed.us or follow us on Instagram @mushroomshed.